Hey YouTube, Aiden's here, and if you want a lesson with me, check the link in the description. Let's talk about doing some valve slurs. I already talked about this a little bit. Let's talk about playing them a little bit lower in the staff, or below the staff, and then below the staff, the next octave below that. This is a thing that has really made me check out how I play the low range, changed how I articulated, changed how I made sound, kind of everything, and it made me a lot more efficient. So it's really simple. Basically what I was just doing on contra, and you can choose any set of notes. They can be as far apart or as close as you want. The example I'm giving today is going to be F and D on bass trombone, just like this. And that's just the example rhythm I'm playing to. It can be anything you want. And if you want an example for tenor trombone, if you're like, I can't do that on tenor. It's a little bit larger of a slur, and it's actually a little more difficult, but it's a good way to get into this on tenor trombone as well. All we're doing here is blowing and moving the valve. You don't want to do anything else. The trap that we all fall into, not all of us, but most of us fall into as brass players, bass trombonists, is we like to use our faces a lot, and it's really easy to do below the staff. And just get too involved and try and grab onto notes and do all this stuff, when all you really have to do is set, breathe, and play. It's so easy to do, but it takes a while to kind of get used to it. And I think this kind of slur, hey cat, can really clue you in to how you can get to that point. I'm going to hit you. If I play, oh well, he'll figure it out. And the point is, just like the Joseph Lessing thing, is like, play every note as long as you can, by cap, and then move to the next note. Don't try and, without really knowing, don't try to move to the next note before it should happen, like this. Where you end up having mostly transition and not a lot of just actual sound coming out. You want a full F, and then no space at all, and then a full D, hey cat, and then no space at all, and then a full F, etc. All the way through. There's no point where you're listening where you're like, no, there's no tone, there's no intonation, there's nothing happening. You want it all to be sound. There might be a little bit of valve whip. You guys probably hear better than I can on that side of the bell. Nothing you can really do about that. Just move your valves nice and fast. And you can do this on any set of notes. Like I said, if you have an independent bass trombone like I do, it's a good way to time your valves so you're not moving them at different times or whatever. But it also really forces you to just blow. And of course, a good way to check on this is to gliss the same thing that you're playing. So, for example, the first thing I started was F and D. That's something that's pretty easy to gliss. And even right there at the end, I actually tried to grab onto the F, and I brought it up a little bit in pitch, and it didn't sound as good. Because I was bringing the slide in, and I was like, ooh, I need to do something with my face. Oh man, it's so hard not to do that. If you can get a really good full sound, and of course, this isn't the same as earlier. This is not a slur. This is all transition. You're just playing everything between these notes. But if you can get a great sound in that whole gliss, guess what? When you go back to the valves, it almost feels like cheating because it sounds so easy. So, other combinations of notes you can use. That one's my kryptonite. It is so hard for me to not grab onto the F at the top and do weird things to make it happen, rather than just blowing and letting that note come out. Make them both sound as even as possible, and guess what? Your job is a lot easier. And go lower. course, takes a lot more air down there. As you get into the pedals, you'll find that it's even easier to grab onto notes and try and make them happen. Even there, I was trying to make these happen a little too much. Some of you guys might be going, well, you're playing a big mouthpiece and a dual bore slide and these Slurs valves. These are not extremely open. Yeah, the slide's kind of open, but I'm playing kind of a tight lead pipe. My mouthpiece is good, whatever. We don't have to talk about that. But you can do this on any instrument. I can do this on a Keen 3B with an F attachment too, and really try and make both of them sound as big as possible within the realms of that instrument. It doesn't always have to sound like this or like the contra, of course. On tenor trombone, it's all going to sound different. It's all going to feel just a little bit different. The point is to really kind of push your envelope, not control things with the face, just let it happen. Set, breathe, and play, and move the slide and move the valves and stuff. Hopefully that gives you an idea of something you can work on. It's been really good for me, even just doing it right now. And don't forget to articulate these as well. Whew, tongue's a little slow. Some of those are a little bit behind. It's something we'll talk about in a future video, I think. I'll see you guys next time.